Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you're doing well and that quarter four is treating you nicely. I see in the Domination Academy group that a lot of people are having questions in regards to the upload file. A lot of people are nervous about it, and I get that. It's crazy. It's a crazy looking file. There's a lot going on, and hell, you always get errors when you first start out with it. It's the most inconvenient thing in the world, but I really implore you to kind of master that file. And I figured I'd make a quick little step-by-step video on how I usually do it, a little example, and the way that, how to do it in order to not get any errors. I'm going to try and keep it short, but it is a pretty massive file, so I'm going to do as much as I can to explain it as well as possible. Okay, so for example, I found this listing on AliExpress, right? Has nothing to do with my niche or anything, but it's got some variations, and maybe someone out there selling sweaters. But for the most part, these files do stay consistent with each other. There is some variation between the files, between the different categories, but we're going to go ahead and do this listing right here. So we have three different colors, right? This sweater. We have three colors and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes. That gives us 15 variations, right? So already 15 variations. You're gonna start to feel the need for an upload file. Um, I like to usually all my listings are like 30 and up, 30 variations and up. But I think if you had 15 listings, you wouldn't want to sit there and click on every single variation in the variation wizard and create it. And and I would suggest to use the upload file. If you have like 4 or 5 listings, you don't really need to use an upload file. But again, some people, most of their listings have many variations, and I would say that try and stick with listings that have many variations. It gives you more exposure and so on. Anyways, so let us do this sweater. When you're going to go into Amazon, you got to download an upload file. You're going to go to this. You're going to hover over this inventory tab, go down to add product via upload. At which point you're going to find the download an inventory between these three tabs up here. You're going to go to download an inventory file. You're just going to try and select the most, the most relevant category, as relevant as you can. Clothing and shoes. Most likely, this is a men's sweater, right? Clothing. So I'm just kind of going through the categories and trying to select the most relevant one. Um, this is not the hard part yet. Sweaters, here we go. Cardigan, polo, pullover, vest, others. I don't know, maybe this is classified as a cardigan, I'm not sure. I don't know styles, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do other sweaters. I'm gonna select that. It's selected over here. You see other sweaters, and I usually go with advanced, and then I filter out the category, the columns that I don't need. But advanced will be all encompassing, and we can go ahead and do everything with it. So we're gonna click on advanced and generate template. It's gonna go ahead and download it down here. Open it up. Open it up. Okay. Now we have this template. It starts out with this little instruction page. I actually went ahead and read it when I first started to kind of gain as much information as possible. But I'm gonna go ahead and explain how to do this. You're gonna go to the template tab over here. Usually I will unlock. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for your purposes. But usually I'll go to tools and unprotect the sheet because you see it has a little lock over here, so I'll unprotect it. I don't know exactly what that does, but I have faced the warning in the past that I can't do certain things because it's locked or can't shift around certain columns and such. So I just go ahead and unlock it. It's not a big deal. I'm sure PC, I'm using a Mac, but PC I'm sure has a way to unlock it as well. I'm sure it's a quick little Google search. Anyway, so we said that we have 15 variations. So what does that mean for us? That means that we need to list one parent, right? And then we need to list 15 children. So for our purposes, that means we need 16 columns because we're going to go ahead and create the parent and all the children in this flat file, in this upload file. So our first row is always going to be the parent. we're going to make the parent in the first, and the rest of the columns is going to be children. Again, that's going to be one parent plus 15 children. That's 16 rows that we're going to need. You're going to start with a product type. Usually it gives you this little drop down arrow. You just select, sweater, and paste that 15 times underneath to make 16 rows. Okay, now we have the amount of rows set up. The seller SKU and the item SKU. So the seller SKU, what I usually do is you're going to need a SKU for the parent, right? That's very important. So for example, and I like to make my SKUs somewhat indicative of what the item is, so that when I see the sale, I can tell what the item is based on the SKU. So for example, I don't know, you could do shorthand, you could do longhand, but for example, men's sweater, I don't know, parent. So I'll do a PAR for parent, and then I'll go ahead and copy that, and some people like to do the size, some people like to do the color. I just stick with numbers, so I do parent, and then I'll do that 15 times for 15 different SKUs. All the child SKUs have to be different. So we have parent, and then we have 1, 2 through 15, right? So you guys understand, we did one parent SKU and then a bunch of children SKUs. You see what we have 1 through 15, that means we have 15 children, right? So brand name, whatever your brand is, you're going to put it here. Remember that the parent is also going to need a brand name. Don't forget to put that there too. So I don't know, whatever your brand is, let's just say ABC Store, right? And you're going to copy and paste that into all of your parent and children listings, okay? Item name, you're going to put an item name by all of the listings as well, right? So men's sweater, winter, warm, whatever, you're going to get all your keywords in there. Zipper, I don't know, zipper, whatever. You get the point. You're going to make a title, but do remember that you're going to make the title, but only the parent title is going to show on the front end of the listing, right? When a customer goes into Amazon and sees your listing, and they select different variations, they're only going to ever see the parent listing. So make it good and make it applicable to all the different variations, right? Don't say, for example, black or gray sweater if you have also blue and red sweaters, right? I think you understand. So make sure that the parent listing is all encompassing. And I was actually telling someone on the Facebook group that for the child listings, I actually do make different titles, but only for the purposes of the back end for myself. When I see an order and I see a title, I know exactly what they ordered. So for example, I'll show you what I mean. I'll do the same thing as this, right? Same thing as this, as the parent, but I'll also include black, black, and the size, for example, black, small, okay? And then I'll do that a bunch of other times for all the different sizes and colors. It goes quickly. If you know formulas, you can even do it even quicker like that. And I'll show you what you mean show you what I mean afterwards when I populate the color and the sizes. But it doesn't matter. You could type it out, or you could, it'll save time regardless. Now, I'm not gonna populate all of the sizes right now. I'll do them afterwards, and I'll show you why. But anyways, let's move on. We're gonna go over to the product ID. That's very important. That's gonna be your UPC codes. Remember, do not need a UPC code for a parent listing. You only need a UPC code for all your child listings. So you're going to just, kind of populate that. I'm just making this up. Okay, so we got UPC codes for our child listings, and you're going to tell Amazon what kind of UPC code it is. What kind of identification it is. They have 5 different options to choose from, and we usually use UPC code, so you're going to select that and tell it that you use the UPC code on every child listing. Great. Now, item type keyword. This just tells kind of tells Amazon what it is that you're selling, and you're going to need to do this for both the parent listing and the child listing, okay? Um, so far we didn't need a UPC code for our parent listing, but an item type keyword we do. Material, you can populate that, you know, up to you. I actually generally don't. I probably should. Out of laziness, for the sake of time, I don't. I'll just go ahead and hide these columns. Um, and then color name. Okay, so here's the deal. Color name. What you type in the color name, by the way, obviously the parent listing doesn't need a color name because you're not actually offering anything. You're not offering a color, you're not offering a size. So only the child listings get color names. Now, what you select in the color names, there's color name and there's color map. The color name is what's going to show up. That's what you're going to type over here, right? So what do we have over here? Right, sorry. So color map actually is, it just kind of lets Amazon get a sense of what you're selling, right? So you can write shish kebab over here, but you have to select one of the colors, or, you know, actually they only give us multicolored here. I don't know why, but if you go to data definitions, it'll actually tell you color map over here. It'll tell you what to do. But usually if you select some standard colors, it'll tell Amazon what you're selling, and that's fine. Now, you're not always going to see your color in the pre-selected list. So just honestly select anything. It usually doesn't matter as long as they're consistent. So if I have black here, right? You're going to have black here, and every time we have black, you're going to select the same, you know, this whatever corresponding color map to the color name. Now what I mean is, for example, when you go into AliExpress, you're going to take a look at your colors, right? What is that? Let's just call it black. Black, white, and gray, right? We have black, white, and gray. So we got black. And how many different sizes do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes. So we're gonna, I usually put black 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then we got, what do we have? We had white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have one extra here. Okay. And we had gray. Okay? Alright. So we got our colors that's set up, and now we got to put in our sizes, right? So I put in S, M. Same exact thing, by the way, with sizes and colors. The size name, that's what's going to show up in Amazon. Size map, that just tells Amazon what it is you're selling. S, M, L, XL, XXL. I just, you know, I think that's all we had. Or I might have been wrong. Oh, what do we have? Oh, we had medium through extra large. 3XL, sorry. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing here, medium. You're just going to select from the pre-selected list. Medium. Okay. Now we're going to just paste that, copy and paste that 3 times. Bam. I actually usually just hide material composition. You should probably fill it in. I'm not going to fill it in for now for the sake of time, but it's not required to do. Now, we didn't need colors for parent, but department name we do need for a parent. There are only certain things that you need for parent listings, right? And I'm telling you what they are. So we didn't need UPC code so far. We didn't need a color. We didn't need a size. Essentially, think of it this way: whatever is tied to an actual offer, right? Whatever information you really need for a sale, like a UPC code, like a size, like a color, right, you're not going to need to put in the parent listing because you're not actually offering anything. It's just there to tie together all the child listings. Now, department name you are going to need, right, in parent listing because that Amazon requires it. Department name men's, and you're going to do the same for all the children listings. Now, again, a price we don't need for the parent listing, right? We only need for the child listings because that's absolute must information for a sale. So standard price. Let's just say I don't know what we're gonna price it at. I didn't do my price research yet, and quite honestly, I'm not actually listing because this is not in my niche. But this is $23.99. Let's just say that we need to list it at $39.99. Let's just say for sake of example. Quantity, same thing. You don't need it for parent, you do need it for child. I'll put 25. Okay. This is the part that many people get confused about. Sorry, before we get to images, I'm going to finish up the product, the item name. This is just for those of you who know how to use formulas in Excel. What I usually do is I'll do a formula that combines my parent title with my size name and my color. Okay? So I'll do equals D4, lock that so you can drag it afterwards. Again, this is not a requirement for everyone. You could type it out, that's fine. But this is just for people who do know formulas and want to save some time. This is just called string concatenation. It's really not a big deal. Do your color name, and you got your size. Okay. And you're just going to slide that down and it's going to populate. Okay, just to show you guys what just happened there. As you see now, I have my parent listing. That's what's going to show. And then for myself, I see when something sells, right? When something sells, it'll show me the color and the size, right? So I have black, medium, black, large, and so on. Very simple, very simple. But again, don't get nervous if you saw that and you have no idea what I just did. It's just for people who do know formulas in Excel, and you have that option. Now, on to images. Images, actually I'm going to get back to images afterwards. Let's skip images for now. For now, we're going to go over to the variation section. Now, for variation, the first column in the red section, you're going to want to go ahead and say parent for the very first one, because that's how you're going to tell Amazon this is our parent listing, and then child for all the rest of the 15, or however many children you have. Parent SKU. Now, this just tells Amazon which parent SKU you're going to connect each child to. So, for example, our parent SKU, if you remember, up here, we go back to the seller SKU and the item SKU. That's going to be our first column in column B, our first row. So we did men's sweater pair, right? And that we're going to post in each one of the child listings. Now, you don't put anything, you don't populate anything into the parent row, right? Because there's no parent to a parent. We just have parents to children, and this is what actually establishes the relationship between the parent and child listings, right? So immediately on the spot, we just made a parent and 15 child listings. You're going to tell Amazon what sort of relationship type we have over here in the next column, and whatever. It's a variation, not a big deal, right? We all know what that means. Whoops. Okay, that worked. And then variation theme. This as well, you need to populate something for the parent as well. Again, there's only certain things that you need to populate for the parents. This is a very important one. This tells Amazon what sort of variation we're talking. So over here we had colors and sizes. We have different colors and different sizes. So that's what we're going to tell Amazon that we have. We have different size and color, and that we have to put that in both the child and the parent list, parent rows. Okay, so we need the parentage. We need a for the parent and the variation theme. Besides that, the child only the child listings get parent SKUs and relationship types. Okay, moving on to the next section. This is actually one of the last two that you're going to need to see. Okay, update delete. Now this is very important because when you're first making this list, you're always going to have update, right? There's three different options, right? We have update, we have partial update, and then we have delete. Now partial update. Update is you're completely overriding what you might already have in Seller Central if you have something already with these same SKUs, right? So if, for example, you had completely different titles and I don't know sizes and prices, whatever quantities, it's going to completely override everything, whatever you have in this flat file. If you choose to just partially update certain things, like you want to update from one shot, you want to update all the prices on this listing, right? And all the quantities, for example, right? You're going to only populate those, right? You're only going to say, you're only going to indicate the price, the quantity. You're going to need, I believe they require you to have the SKU and the brand name. And you're just going to come over to this file and say partial update, right? Partial update, and you're going to do the same thing for all of them. Now, but that doesn't really matter. For listing, you're just going to say update on all parent and child rows. And as for this stuff right here, product description, bullet points, I actually don't do this in a flat file. I go ahead and do it in Seller Central once I actually listed the item, right? Once I list the item, I go into Seller Central and I only populate those specific cells for the parent listing because that pushes through the description to all the child listings. Okay. Now, generic keywords, you're going to fill that in with the keywords that you think are appropriate, and so on. And all of this information, I personally don't fill in. I just go all the way to the back, to the very end. I mean. You see this red section over here is actually the last section that we're going to worry about. I'm going to go over to the handling time. Now this is very important because when I did my first couple of flat files, I didn't do this and I didn't realize that I hadn't selected a handling time. And then I want to say that Amazon selected the default for me, which was like I think 2 or 3 handling days, which is ridiculously fast for AliExpress drop shipping with some suppliers. You guys know this better than I do. So make sure to do this, okay? You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're shipping things out late. For some reason, Amazon's telling you that you have to ship these items today, but you just placed the order yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever it was, and the supplier hasn't even itched his head to go ahead and start shipping this guy out. So do go ahead here, select your 6 or 5, however many days you establish with your supplier. I usually select 6 because that'll actually give you 8 days, since you have the weekend, which doesn't count into business days, and there's only 5 business days in a week, so you have 8 days. Anyways, I select 6. I do that. I don't know if you need that for both parent and child, but I always do parent and child, and it's never giving me an error. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Now, for the last icing on the cake, images, okay? Once you have your images, I'm going to actually show you what I do so that you can save hours of your time instead of uploading images to every single one of your listings in the variation wizard. You're going to do it in here, and it's going to be drag and drop, and it's going to be very easy. And let me actually go through the process right now quickly and show you what I do, okay? Now, I'll go ahead and open all of my images in a new tab, right? There's not so many of them. I'm actually, for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and only do a couple of these. Okay. Okay. Let's just say that these are the only ones that I'm going to do. Usually I would go ahead and do a size chart also. I would do some detailed products, but this is just for the sake of time. I want to show you guys how I do images and what exactly you can do to save a lot of time. Now you're going to go ahead and screenshot it. There's several different, I want to say extensions that people use. Here's one of them called Light Shot, I believe, or something like that. I'm not going to use it, but I just use my my Mac where I screenshot, and that's how I upload everything. And I'll show you how and where to upload it. Okay, that's one. That's two. And this is three. Great, we have our pictures. And now, what I like to use for image hosting platform is, I have no idea how to pronounce this, Imgur, whatever it is, but this imgur.com. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. It's not a secret, but you can create an account. It's free, and just literally upload your files onto this image hosting platform, and it'll give you the link that you're going to use, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and upload our images. Add images, browse. We're going to throw those in. Okay. The reason I like this platform is because when you upload your image, you see we have all our images here. You click on it, and it'll actually give you a direct link. You see the second one right here? This, if you go to this URL, it'll take you to a page that literally just hosts your image. It's perfect. So you're going to take that, right? We uploaded our images. You're going to take that direct link, copy it, and let's head over to our flat file, and let's paste our images, right? So we have, I don't know what the deal is with parent listing and images. I know that only the child listings get shown in Amazon, but what I usually do is I'll just put a set of images in the parent, and I've never gotten an error, so I'm just going to keep doing that. If you want to add more than these 3 images, your max is 7, including the main image. You can actually go ahead and insert more columns. You just select those rows. You say insert. It'll give you 2 extra rows. You know, however many rows you select, columns. I'm sorry, columns you selected. It's going to give you that many more columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could add a 7th if you want. Just make sure that these are consistent, other image URL and other image URL 1. You want to make sure that that is following the same format throughout all of the image columns, right? Okay. Now we created more columns for images, so we can upload even more images. Now we can get started with throwing in the URLs. So what do we have? We had the direct link for the black sweater. See, we actually took that link and just pasted it in there. We just pasted it in there, and I'm actually going to go ahead and just paste it many times so you see. I'm not crazy. I never do this, but I'm doing this literally for the sake of example. You're going to have different images here, the detail images, the size chart, and so on. But that is going to be our image for all of our black sweaters, right? You see right here we have the last black sweater. Bam. Then we go over to the white sweater, copy that direct link, and paste it right there, and populate all of our white listings with that. And now we're going to go ahead and take our gray one, again, I'm just going to populate the parent listing with a set of images, not that it matters. because it doesn't show in Amazon anyways. But look at that. I just made links for all of our images within under a minute. So imagine how much time I just saved instead of uploading every single image in the variation wizard. So let's just go through this file quickly. To finish, I'm going to show you exactly what we have here. We have and what the parent needs versus the child. We have the product type, usually a pre-selected. You have your SKUs. Make sure you have a parent SKU, child SKUs. Make a brand name for all of them. Make an item name for all of them. It's up to you how you want to do your item names, your product names. This is how I do them. Anyways, make a UPC, select UPC codes for every child, but not the parent. Tell Amazon what kind of identifier you're using. The item type keyword you're going to need for both the parent and the child. You're only going to need color for child listings, size for child listings. For department name, you need for both parent and child. Take my word for it. Just do it. Make a price for only child, quantity for only child. Images I do for both parent and child, but only the child. The child images show up. Tell Amazon how these listings are variations of each other. Tell them which one is the parent. Give a variation theme for the parent, right? And for the child listing, you want to do the parent SKUs. Tell Amazon it's a child and a variation, and that it's the same exact size, color as the parent listing, right? So you're going to say update for all of them, and go all the way to the end where you're going to tell Amazon that you have this many days of handling time. That's the fulfillment latency. So that is what you're going to do. So I'm not going to waste my UPC codes to upload this file. If you guys are really complaining that, if you guys really want to see that it works, just hit me up and I'll show you how I upload it. But I really don't want to waste UPC codes on this. So I'm not going to actually go ahead and upload this because Amazon wouldn't allow for these fake UPC codes. But this file would actually submit flawlessly, right? It wouldn't have any errors. And then when I actually upload it to Amazon, I go into I only edit the parent listing where I put in my descriptions and my bullet points. And that's all, guys. I really hope that this helps you. If I had this video when I first started, things would get up and running much faster than they did. So please, please, please use it wisely. Don't just brush the flat file, the upload file under the rug. I promise you, once you learn how to use it, it'll save you hours of time. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please do hit me up and have a great day.